It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at everything that we know so far about The Walking Dead's movies, better known as the Rick Grimes movies. And we're going to take a look at the organization that's at the center of it all. And we're going to take a look at everything we know so far about the CRM organization. Also, we're going to look at the A and B classification system that's intertwined with the CRM organization. And we're going to talk about, what that could potentially be. And we are going to look at everything that we know about that. And we're going to put a little bit of the pieces of the puzzle together in that regard. Now, there's going to be some speculations and theories sprinkled in throughout this video, but for the most part, we're going to talk about facts and everything that they've actually revealed or shown us in one of the 3 Walking Dead shows. The Walking Dead's original show, Fear the Walking Dead, and Walking Dead World Beyond, or TWD3. And of course, this one has not yet released, but we already know a lot based on the trailer alone. Let's first backtrack and revisit Season 9, Episode 5 of The Walking Dead, What Comes After, which was the episode Rick disappeared. Rick washed up to shore and Jada saved him by trading him into the helicopter group, revealed in Fear the Walking Dead's Season 5 premiere to be called the CRM group. Now, Jada had already been communicating and trading with this mysterious group and seemed to know a lot more about them and how they operate. She actually decided at the last minute, when she saw Rick wash up to shore, to trade him in as a B. As you know, there's this mystery revolving around A and B and what they represent. Regardless of the meaning behind these abbreviations, from what we know, Jada has good intentions, or to the best of our knowledge, trading in Rick as a B will not end up harming Rick in any way. We know this because Jada clearly said, "I'm trying to save a friend," before she and Rick hopped onto the helicopter and were taken away by the CRM soldiers. Now, the helicopter that took Rick away had a symbol that included 3 overlapping circles. We actually saw the exact same helicopter, or one from the exact same community or network of communities, fly away at the end of the episode of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 4. As a side note, we also saw this overlapping symbol on top of the can Jadis was eating from before she joined in with the survivors and left her junkyard community. And this makes sense since we have found out that she was trading in with this group, most likely human subjects or human resources, for food, weapons, and other supplies. Now, we also saw this overlapping circle symbol on some cards that Al found in the first episode of Season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, when she was trying to solve the mystery of where the soldiers or the soldier walker came from. In addition to the symbols, though, we also saw for the very first time the abbreviation CRM, leading us to assume that these soldiers are from a place called CRM. On top of that, we saw some sketches of what appeared to be maps of certain areas or states. These soldiers clearly appear to be more capable and advanced than anyone we have seen so far. They carry sophisticated and deadly weapons that the regular survivors will not be able to get their hands on. They have helicopters, or at least one, which can waste large amounts of fuel, a very scarce and expensive resource in the apocalypse, to make round trips around the country to take in people. In addition to this information, we know they trade resources to get their hands on human subjects or human resources. So they must have an excess of supplies that they can afford to give away. Now, looking at the A and B classification system that's connected to the CRM organization and everything we know about that. So we do know that Negan was going to be traded in as an A in Season 8 of The Walking Dead. Jadis was actually about to have Winslow, her walker pet, injure Negan first before he was traded. Rick was also going to be traded in as an A in Season 8. Jadis was also about to have her walker injure Rick before he was traded. Gabriel was originally offered to go with Jadis willingly, being labeled as a B. She actually said, "All this time I thought you were a B, but then I found out that you're an A." So when Gabriel stood up to her and did not want to go willingly. She tried to injure him and trade him in as an A. Also, right before Rick was taken away on the helicopter in his disappearance episode, Jadis lied to the CRM and said that she has an A. The helicopter actually came in with an A label on it, which indicates that each subject retrieval helicopter is labeled accordingly. But then, once Jadis found that Rick was injured in the riverbank, she said that she lied and she never had an A and asked to go with a B subject, but said that he's strong and that she wants to save a friend. So A and B are both referring to human subjects, that's for sure. But what A and B actually mean is something that's more of a speculation. But I think at this time, A is probably someone who's injured or bit or someone who's just weak in general. And maybe the CRM does experiments with these subjects. B is someone that goes willingly and will be a strong asset to the organization by working either as one of the leaders there, a soldier there, or just someone with a critical role to bring value to the organization. A while back, I think it was like right when The Walking Dead season 10 started, we got some information about TWD3. It was revealed by Scott Gimple, the Chief Content Officer. The group of people we meet in TWD3 and the community they're from is part of a bigger organization that's also connected to the CRM organization. The Walking Dead reveals meaning of 3-circle symbol on Rick Grimes' helicopter. The Walking Dead Chief Content Officer Scott Gimple on Saturday explained the meaning behind the 3-circle symbol seen on the helicopter responsible for the disappearance of Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln. A symbol later identified in connection with the CRM organization who surfaced in Fear the Walking Dead. We've seen that 3-circle symbol. Those 3 circles, and I'm saying it here, represent 3 different civilizations that are around and entwined in some ways, and in some ways very, very different. Gimple said at New York Comic Con during the panel for AMC's upcoming 3rd Walking Dead series, centered around the first generation raised after the fall of civilization. The setting of that series, revealed in the spin-off's first trailer, is one of those places, Gimple teased. Intertwined with CRM is the A and B classification system, used so far to categorize Rick, Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Father Gabriel, Seth Gilliam. Answers behind those labels will come in the Walking Dead movie trilogy, starring Lincoln's Rick, who may have been relocated to Philadelphia. The first film, penned by Gimple, will explore the vast methodology behind the helicopter group, Gimple told THR last November. That serves the overall story to the next story we have for Rick, Gimple said. So the CRM community is one piece of that huge organization. And as we've talked about before, the tri-circles are a representation of that. So CRM is one of those circles, and then there's 2 other circles. Now, we did get other hints or clues about the CRM in season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead. The same helicopter or a similar type of helicopter that took Rick actually came in, and we met Isabel, one of their members, one of their soldiers, who kind of connected with Althea in Fear the Walking Dead, and she did reveal some small information about what the CRM community was.
The place I'm from, I'm not going to tell you where it is, I'm not going to tell you what it's called. But there is something I will tell you.
What?
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than all of us.
Because it's the future.
And we're the past.
So we do know that one of these 3 organizations is the CRM. Now, Scott Gimple said there are 2 other organizations, one of which is connected to the TWD3. So one is the organization the CRM is from, one is the community TWD3 is from, and then there's another one, very likely to be Commonwealth. But now there's actually huge reveals about this. Now, this picture was recently revealed, and this picture was on set of TWD3. And we can see parts of when we actually go to this spot in the trailer of TWD3. There is a part in the trailer, it's at the very beginning, where one of the characters is giving this speech, and it seems to be some sort of a celebration, or she is talking about Monument Day. So they're celebrating Monument Day. Now, Monument Day is very, very important, and I'll get to that.
It's called Monument Day because we are all monuments to the past. My dad is off laying the groundwork to change the world. to someday far in the future get us back to where we were.
But look at the picture. We can clearly see the tri-circle symbols. And what makes it even more interesting is that we have Civic Republic, Portland, Omaha. 10 years Monument Day. So that's extremely interesting. Now think about it. Monument. All of the three communities that are mentioned here, Civic Republic, Portland, and Omaha, have monument in their name. Portland Monument, Omaha Monument, Civic Republic Monument. With each community symbolically being described as a monument of what was, of the past. Hence the name Monument Day. So let's go back to Civic Republic Monument. What does that spell out for us? Civic Republic Monument, CRM. That is mind-blowing. That's exactly the CRM organization, Civic Republic. In the same way, PM would be Portland Monument. And then Omaha, OM. That is extremely interesting. Now, the other thing that I do want to mention is Civic Republic. It could be the center of these three organizations. Now, let's look at Omaha. Omaha is a city in Nebraska. Now, what's very interesting, there's a different shot in the trailer of TWD3 where one of the characters opens the door at one of the colleges or universities that they're studying at, most likely, in this post-apocalyptic world. And on the door, it says NSU, Nebraska State University. Where is Omaha at? It's in Nebraska. So that kind of tells us that Omaha is where TWD3 takes place. In Nebraska. Now, Portland, there's a city called Portland in Oregon, Maine, and also Ohio. But if we bring in the comic book to this picture, we can see that Ohio makes the most sense. Commonwealth in the comic book was in Ohio. So, obviously, Portland, Ohio is where Commonwealth is at. So, Omaha is TWD3, Portland is Commonwealth. Now, Civic Republic could be Philadelphia. And why do I say that? That's because if we take a look at the little tease that we got of the Rick movies, the first one, it seems like the skyscrapers in Philadelphia. So Civic Republic Monument, CRM, is in Philadelphia. That's where Rick is at, or that's where Rick was taken to. That's going to be the setting of the first Walking Dead movies. Portland Monument is in Portland, Ohio, and that's going to be where Commonwealth is at. And Omaha Monument is in Nebraska. That's going to be where TWD3 is going to be set. So that's basically how everything is connected. And that's extremely interesting. And I love this little tidbit that we got. It might be a spoiler, but I don't care at this point. We have waited so long to learn what CRM is at this point that I don't care about this little piece of spoiler or tidbit or whatever you want to call it. Now we can see where everything is. We have, of course, Alexandria Safe Zone, which is in Virginia near Washington, D.C. We have Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, which is going to be where the Rick movie is going to be at. So that's going to be where the CRM is stationed. We have Portland, Ohio. That's where Commonwealth is going to be at. And we have Omaha, Nebraska. And that's going to be where the TWD3 story is going to take place, or their community is going to be at. And obviously in Texas, that's where the characters in Fear the Walking Dead are. Now, if we look at the map of these three states, if you look at the cards that Althea found in Season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, in the premiere, we can see that there are shapes that look like outlines of different states. Now, it seems like there's only 3 of them, but there could be more, but most likely just 3. What's more interesting is that there are some similarities between the outlined shapes on the cards and the maps of the states that we looked at, Nebraska, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Now, it's not 100% match, but some of the outlines match somewhat with some of the shapes of the states that we looked at, which is pretty interesting. Now, this one is purely speculative because they didn't come out and say it, and it's not 100% match for me to, with confidence, tell you that it is in fact that, but there's definitely something there. So in the trailer for Season 1 of The Walking Dead World Beyond, we saw a helicopter with the same tri-circle symbol on it as the one that took Rick, revealed in Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 to be called the CRM organization. Fans immediately speculated that it was from the CRM as well because it had the logo on it. Personally, I think just because it has the circles logo does not mean that it's from CRM. We know there are 3 large organizations out there. They all most likely use this symbol universally, and it's probably not something that is exclusively identifying one specific organization. So although it is very likely for this helicopter to have also come from the CRM, it's not 100%. We see this woman get off the helicopter and she's escorted by heavily armed soldiers. These soldiers are all dressed almost identical to how the soldiers were dressed in Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, who came with Isabel, who herself was a CRM soldier. Now, this female character that gets off the helicopter in the trailer is some sort of a leader figure. Her name is Elizabeth, and she's described as being a charismatic leader of a sophisticated and formidable force, which actually fits CRM pretty accurately. Later on in that same trailer, we see Elizabeth approaching a group of either people or walkers. It doesn't make sense for them to be walkers, so I'm guessing they're just regular people who are most likely there to greet her. In a later shot though, we see the soldiers who accompanied the female character shooting down some walkers. A lot of people speculated that Elizabeth is the leader of CRM, since she was in a helicopter that had the logo on it. Again, just because she was in the helicopter with the logo doesn't mean she's the leader of CRM. It's very likely, but it's also possible that she's the leader of, let's say, Commonwealth or even the World Beyond organization. With that said, I think she's probably from CRM, given the description and how the scenes she was in the trailer was shot and what they've teased so far about CRM. Now, what I think puts more weight into this theory that Elizabeth is the leader of CRM, came to this community in the World Beyond story for whatever reason, goes back to the idea of monument. So in the first trailer, we saw one of the younger characters giving this speech to everyone, talking about why they are celebrating Monument Day. Well, this picture that I showed earlier also connects to this because it's in the background of where this teen was giving her speech. Now, what makes it more interesting is that we see Elizabeth giving a speech in that same place. So put all of that together. I think Monument Day, which they celebrate, is something that is celebrated each year in one of the three organizations. Like, it rotates around each year. This time, it's probably hosted by the World Beyond community in Omaha, which means that leaders and maybe other guests from CRM would come to watch and celebrate. The leader of Commonwealth and other guests from Commonwealth may also be there. So that means it's not bizarre to assume that Elizabeth is either the leader of Commonwealth or CRM's leader. And they flew in from their community to attend the Monument Day celebration. Again, I'm leaning more towards Elizabeth being CRM's leader, but I could be wrong about that. That said, that actually also reminds me, we might have actually seen Pamela, Commonwealth's leader, in the World Beyond trailer as well. So if you look at this picture here, this was shown in the trailer of Season 1 of World Beyond. She does strike an interesting resemblance to Pamela, the leader of Commonwealth. So that's also very, very interesting. But one thing that I think is very important to realize is that the tree circle symbol is not identifying a particular organization. The teens from World Beyond are seen with coats that have that logo on it. Elizabeth is wearing a coat that has the logo. The helicopters obviously all had the logos. The soldiers wear a uniform that has the logo, Isabel being one of them wearing it. But this doesn't mean all of these people are from the same place or the same community or organization. One final thing is that if they want to make things extremely cool and interesting and connect the dots a little bit more, they can have the person Eugene was talking to in Season 10 actually come to the event and attend Monument Day as well, with maybe other characters who we may actually see later on in Season 11 of The Walking Dead's original show. Same thing with people from CRM. You can show them in The Walking Dead World Beyond and have them pop in the movies and spend more time with them. They could basically make cameos in the World Beyond series. Heath can even be there as a soldier or something like that. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.